So I want to hop on here real quick and let you guys know that we've been having a lot of fun over at the Discord with these markets. Now, reason is the last 5 option plays I've entered into have all been winners. The guys over the Discord who are in the options with me have been following through and hitting that success with me. So in this video, I'm going to break down a few of those moves with you guys and give you a bit of an insight into my strategy and how I go about approaching the markets, because there's specific setups that I look for that have high probability of success that allow me to go ahead and have 5 option wins in a row. Listen, if anybody's telling you they have literally made 5 trades in a row and they've all hit, you're going to want to be listening to what they are saying. Listen, winners take advantage of opportunities and winners absorb information, and that's what you guys should be doing, right? Taking action and absorbing information. So let's jump into the breakdown. All right, guys, so on to the breakdown. Now, as I said in the beginning, the last 5 option plays that I've made have all been winners. So I want to take you guys behind the scenes now and show you my strategy and how I go about approaching the option market. Now, I'm just going to take you guys behind the scenes on the last 2 option plays. And I want you guys to pay attention to the date of entry as then the date of exit. So check it out. The last option play that I entered was a put on plug, and that was entered on the 13th of July. The very next notification you guys can see is the very next day, the 14th of July. And this is when I sold plug at a 50% gain. For those of you guys who are new to options, never traded options before, it's really not as difficult as it may seem, okay? The option market is open to everybody and for everybody to make money. Let's go into the breakdown. Let me show you guys the charts. So this was exactly what plug looked like when I entered in, and it was standing around just under 18.50 a share. For most of you guys looking at the charts, you probably think, why did I enter puts? So I entered puts expecting this to move down. You're probably looking at the charts thinking, what was the reason behind entering into puts? Because maybe the chart looks bullish, right? If you look at the chart, you can see it making a series of lower highs and higher highs. So some of you guys might think plug is moving in that direction. Now, how I trade and what I pay a lot of attention to is zones. What do I mean by zones? By zones, I mean this is areas on the chart where you get a lot of supply, where you get a lot of demand. So that is areas of the chart where you get a lot of buying pressure and then where you get a lot of selling pressure. So if I put this zone on here, anytime the stock price interacts with this level, it makes a push up or down. And that's the key. So here, it made a push up. At this level, it made a push down. Then you actually had a breakout here, which is fine. But then what happened after the breakout is you actually got a break below the zone. And then you got what we call a retest. And I was basically playing the retest here. Because it's broken below the zone, come back to retest that zone, it's now in a bearish condition. So that's why puts were entered. All right, so you're getting some pretty big drops in the stock price. And I think this was the point where we exited right here. So the very next day when markets opened up, plug dropped, it was about 6%, 6.5% to this level right here. And this was when I sent the sell notification to the guys over at the Discord, right at this level. Now, because plug shifted the 6% the very next day, the contracts were now up 50%. So that's how we're able to make 50% on that move. So it's all about timing and the directional move. Now, the reason why I exited here was because plug had another zone where we typically seen a lot of activity, right? So you see a lot of rejections and you see a lot of buying pressure from this level. So, and it literally dropped into that area. So here we had a rejection, here a bit of a rejection, here. You had some demand at this level, you had demand at this level. So as you can see, it's dropped right back to that level, and then now you got the buying pressure, okay, pushing that stop price up. So I want to get out as it drops into the next zone, which will be the demand level, because as the stock price drops, there's always going to be demand levels, right? It's not just going to continue to drop. Regardless of what it is, there's always going to be a level where you're going to get buying pressure. So you want to get out at that level. So that's exactly what it did. So the next one I want to break down with you guys was the move before the plug puts, and those were puts on Peloton. Now look at the entry date, 12th of July. Look at the exit date, very next day, 13th of July. Now if I just switch over to the Peloton chart, again guys, I pay very close attention to zones of interest. This is where you get, you know, strong buying pressure, or you get strong selling pressure from these zones. Now let me just highlight and show you guys where that zone of interest is, or was, on Peloton. It was here. Okay, should be clear to see. Every time we dip into this zone, okay, we get activity, and that activity in this case, this first case, was buying pressure. Here, more buying pressure to the upside. Then you got a breakdown of the zone. Okay, now what often happens is support turns into resistance. So here we look at this candle. We had a rejection, then we had another rejection here to the downside. And if you keep knocking on the door, of that zone, you're going to get a break. So it then broke above the zone just to then break below the zone. Okay, this is a bearish setup, added to the fact that it made a lower high here. Okay, this level is lower than this level, so it's made a lower high. Now what I'm expecting is a retest. When you get breakdowns of these zones, you often get a retest, and you saw it here. Okay, let me show you guys. When it broke through when it cracked the zone, you got this retest, and then you got a push to the downside here. It's looking like it's setting up the same type of move, retesting this zone. And my expectation is, or was, for it to break down, given the fact that it's now in a more bearish condition. So puts were entered on this day, on the 12th of July. So a lot of people, right, psychologically saw green candle, we're expecting this thing to shift upwards. Okay, given the fact that that was a pretty big day for Peloton. I actually think, if I look, I think it was up, like, it doesn't really matter, like 7-8%, doesn't matter what it was up, but it was up big on the day. A lot of people were expecting it to continue to move. That was the trap. The trap was it was moving just to satisfy a technical condition, and that technical condition was to go ahead and retest that zone of interest before you got the selling pressure. So puts were entered, team over the Discord were notified. I'll show you guys how that played out. Okay, so you guys can see big drop in the price action. Big drop in that price action. Now it was at this point where the puts were sold. Okay, there was a rejection on the day. I think it was about 5%. Sent the guys over the Discord that sell alert. The very next day, that was the 13th of July, sold Peloton for again a 50%. Okay, so two 50% moves in 1 week. Guys, it was a strong week. Okay, it's been a strong good couple of weeks. 5 moves in a row that have all been winners. Okay, so if you guys want to join us over at the Discord, link is in the description below. All right, until next time, I'll catch you guys in another one.